Anambra State Government seeks stronger collaboration with Manufacturers Association of Nigeria. Anambra State Government bans wearing of mini-length uniforms in schools. Nigerian Army warns personnel to stay away from politics. And 27 people killed in road accidents in China. Before the news in details, here is a special message. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let's give him maximum support for the task ahead. Good morning and welcome to the news. My name is Nonye Nwokoye. Our deepest apology for the hitches experienced in the course of the news. Now, Governor Chukwuma Soludo has received in audience the chairperson of the Manufacturing Association of Nigeria, MAN, Southeast covering Anambra, Enugu, and Ebonyi states, Lady Ada Chukwudozie. Governor Soludo, while receiving Lady Ada Chukwudozie on her first official visit to the government house, Oka, congratulated her for the elevation and inauguration and expressed the hope of effective collaboration between MAN and Anambra State government towards improving productivity and development at large. A government house correspondent Valentine Mbadoga reports.
While stating that manufacturers are critical stakeholders of any developing society, Governor Soludo promised a conducive environment that will attract and encourage foreign and local investors. Governor Soludo, who emphasized the need to patronize made in Anambra products, expressed readiness of the state government to partner any investor to promote wealth and job creation for Anambra. He expressed optimism that Lady Ada will serve the people well, giving her knowledge and wealth of experience in the manufacturing industry over the years. Lady Ada Chukwudozie, in an interview, said that Manufacturers Association of Nigeria is excited to have Professor Chukwuma Soludo leading Anambra State at this time, expressing hope of a better Anambra in the near future. Lady Ada assured that MAN will synergize with the policies of the state government in line with their key vision, which is to be the key drivers of industrialization and sustainable economic development. While pointing out that public sector cannot develop the state alone, she noted that the organized private sector must get fully involved, but on a friendly environment to boost development through creation of jobs and wealth.
All I am here to do is to deepen relationships with all the economic actors, with government, and with the general public on issues that has to do with manufacturers. I need to understand where government stands, understand the policies that they have formulated, then bring it back and break it down in a language that my fellow manufacturers will understand.
The Chief of Staff to the Governor, Mr. Ernest Ezajuyi, was present during the meeting, while Mr. Daniel Chukwudozie was among Lady Ada Chukwudozie's entourage. From the Government House, Oka, Valentine Mbadoga reporting for ABS News.
Wife of the Governor of Anambra State, Mrs. Nonye Soludo, has asked parents to instill in their children a sense of moral standards by keeping them in touch with the basics of culture and tradition. Speaking in Oka, Mrs. Soludo observed that cultural and traditional values shape how children respond to their environment, pointing out that a child who received right orientation in cultural values will prioritize hard work over crimes. We have details of the report.
Speaking in Oka, Mrs. Soludo observed that cultural and traditional values shape how children respond to their environments, pointing out that a child who received right orientation in cultural values will prioritize hard work over crimes. The governor's wife further stated that each Anambra child is entitled to vast social benefits, including child-friendly policies that have been initiated by Governor Chukwuma Soludo's administration. Mrs. Soludo, while emphasizing the importance of teaching the younger generation the essence of culture and traditional behavioral philosophies, urged parents to teach their children and words to communicate with them in Igbo language. Mrs. Soludo, while pledging to continue to champion the campaign to better the lives of all Anambra children, explained that she has a huge responsibility to help each child succeed in the midst of many obstacles standing between them and their future. The The Anambra governor's wife also stated that stakeholders, families, schools, churches, and the general society must understand the imperative of the crusade and contribute towards achieving desired aims.
Anambra state government has concluded range integrity testing on market stalls in Ochanja Central Market, Onitsha. Correspondent Ejike Abana reports that the State Material Testing Laboratory conducted the verification on buildings sealed by the state in the market.
A joint government task force comprising the Ministry of Trade and Commerce and Anambra State Fiscal Planning Board, after visiting the market 2 months ago, commissioned the State Materials Testing Laboratory to carry out integrity tests on structures there, following complaints of casualties resulting from the partial collapse of some of the buildings. Presenting the report of the testing at ANSBBB headquarters, Amobia, the executive chairman of the lab, Mr. Ebosie Ezuoke, explained that the reports contain sketches, blocks, columns, beams, and other aspects of the buildings to help identify the blocks that passed the test or otherwise, and warned market unions that there are sanctions for non-compliance with the government laboratory verification.
We were able to cover up all the blocks. It is important to note that generally we did receive cooperation from the union authorities, but there were instances of non-compliance. We have also tried to make our recommendations, because without having facilities tested, it is difficult to actually determine the potential for use, particularly for the public. So it is indeed a pleasure for us. And on this note, I would say we have produced 4 copies of the report.
The Commissioner for Trade and Commerce, Mr. Obin Nangona, noted that when they visited the market for on-the-spot assessment, the illegalities were observed, which prompted the setting up of the committee on the directive of the State Governor, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, noting that some of the structures were built before the advent of the present administration, leading to the market master plan being bastardized. While stating that the exercise will be extended to other markets in the state, Commissioner Ngonande said the report will be presented to the governor and the decision will be taken on the matter, stressing, however, that even if those buildings are going to stay, a significant part of them will be reviewed.
What we are doing here today is very, very significant, and we intend to visit all the markets in Anambra State and carry out such testings on the structural defense and make recommendations on the improvement and stabilization of those markets. So this is just the beginning of what we are doing, and getting a lot of cooperation from the fiscal plan that always available to assist the Ministry of Commerce and Industry in carrying out this work. So we thank Mr. Governor for the opportunity, for his commitments towards making Anambra State a viable and prosperous state.
Also speaking, the chairman of ANSPPB, Barrister Chike Maduekwe, expressed satisfaction that the report of the lab was conducted in a record time to aid government in its avowed duty of protecting life and property, while announcing that the board will commence Operation Show Your Permit from 1st October 2022, targeted at people who built structures in the past 5 years. Barrister Maduekwe lamented that the existence of so many markets in the state does not really translate to revenue due to various degrees of illegalities.
We thank Material Testing for the thorough job they have done, and we thank God the law has said that we must work together with them. It's in the amendment of the law of this board. So that's what we are going to do. And we seek your cooperation, the people in the markets. At the end of the day, you will find out that all these things have been put in place to ensure that you do your business, prosper, from generation to generation, you hand over to your children.
The chairman of Ochanja Central Market, Bonaventure Moore, assured that they will continue to comply with government directives. Ejike Abana, ABS News.
Anambra State has banned the wearing of mini-length uniforms in schools across the state. The Commissioner for Education, Professor Ngozi Chumaude, announced this during an interactive meeting with education secretaries of public and mission schools held at Asubeb Hall, Oka. We have details of that report.
The commissioner condemned the growing trend of putting on mini-length uniforms in schools, saying it goes against the acceptable dress code for schools in the state. According to the commissioner, a student should look smart, well-groomed, project positive disposition, and not be indecently dressed for school. She added that the acceptable length for uniforms in the state remains knee length and not above the knee, as is fast becoming the norm. The commissioner charged these educational secretaries to ensure schools comply with the directive to salvage the future of Umuakwukwo Anambra. She reminded them that they are the foundation that control the formative years of the children and should infuse the right morals and discipline in students so they grow to be rational human beings by showing them there is more to life, stressing that failure at this stage could adversely affect their future.
In a bid to reduce the high rate of out-of-school adolescent girls, the federal government, in collaboration with UNICEF, has organized a two-day meeting titled Critique of the Reentry Guidelines for Adolescent Girls. Our correspondent, Queen Aniborgo, reports that a meeting held in Oka, Anambra State capital, attracted educationists from the 9 states of South, Southeast, and officials of UNICEF. Her report is taken from here.
During day one of the workshop, one of the resource persons, Dr. Chinedu Osuji, presented an overview of the analysis of the federal government documents conducted in 9 states, where he noted the high rate of adolescent girls who are out of school as a result of pregnancy. Dr. Suji said that the re-entry guidelines for adolescent girls is a policy of the federal government propagated by the Federal Ministry of Education, funded by UNICEF, to ensure that pregnant adolescent girls after giving birth are encouraged to continue their education. The Director, Career Counseling and Service Center, Abuja, Professor Patricia Ojia, who spoke on the role of school support system in the implementation of the re-entry guidelines, role of guidance and counselors, called on government to enforce the employment of guidelines and counselors in all schools to help give sex education to school children. In day 2 of the workshop, the group went on a courtesy visit to the traditional ruler of Oka, Obi Gibson Mosu, and his council chiefs. In his remarks, one of the members of this team, Mr. Ayotunde Omotomi, said that Nigeria has the highest number of out-of-school children globally as a result of pregnancy in adolescent girls. While noticing that education is the bedrock of any nation, Mr. Omotomi asked the traditional ruler and his council of chiefs to propagate the need for the girl child after giving birth should be encouraged to continue her education.
Came up with this initiative that the girls that are pregnant should not be denied access to education. As soon as they are giving birth, they should be encouraged to go back. As we all know that education is the bedrock of the development of any nation, and it promotes critical thinking of any individual. It's a tool for a positive change. And thank God, the UNICEF key into this. I said, I'm going to support the program. That is why we are here.
Responding, the traditional ruler of Oka, Obi Gibson Mosu, recalled his exploits in the field of education, described the objectives of the workshop as a noble one, and pledged his support to get the girl child back to school.
What I can do for you vis-a-vis putting my hands firmly on guiding you to achieve your objective. The objective you have is a noble one, and I support it, and I will help you fight for it tooth and nail. Therefore, I will say once more, welcome.
Contributing, the palace speaker, Chief Mweze Okoli, faulted the federal government's stance on education in Nigeria, citing the prolonged ASU strike and called on federal governments to do everything possible to secure out-of-school children who are not pregnant. In an interview, the Director Administration and Supply, Enugu State, Mr.
So many educated persons.
Dr. Uche Okeke, representing Asube, and Mrs. Mercy Francis Opong from Akwa Ibom State, mentioned the various measures the state government are employing to deal with the problem of adolescent girls, stressing that the importance of education cannot be overemphasized.
That's to look at the document which is designed by Federal Ministry of Education in collaboration with UNICEF on the reentry of girls, adolescent girls, into the schools, adolescent girls that got pregnant on their way, maybe those that got pregnant who are underaged, how we should get them back to school, because we know that education is the bedrock, so that they will not be cheated in the society or left after in the society. That's the objective of the exercise.
Group work, presentation, question and answer sessions climaxed the event.
Away now from state stories, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahaya, has warned officers and soldiers of the Nigerian Army to stay away from politicians and resist temptations by misguided elements to disrepute the image of the service. The Army Chief has equally warned those feeling crisis in various parts of the country to desist from their unpatriotic acts or have themselves to blame. General Yahaya also charged commanders of the various army operations in the country to be vigilant and employ stringent measures to maintain efficient security of arms and ammunition. The COAS, who gave the charge in Abuja, said the warning has become necessary as the 2023 general elections draw nearer. He said the directive on the reviewed Nigerian Army rules of engagement and code of conduct for Operation Safe Conduct during the elections should be adhered to strictly before, during and after the elections. The Army Chief, who commended officers and soldiers of their doggedness, bravery and commitment to the service of the nation, noting that with the tempo of operational activities in all the theater across the country, insecurity would soon become a thing of the past. On business news, maritime stakeholders in the country have stressed the need for more concentration on advanced technologies that will entrench a new era of shipping activities that guarantee a clean environment. The stakeholders of Lagos State said that green shipping entails improving the environment of the sea by ensuring the least amount of carbon emissions and other gases caused by the burning of fuel by ships. Minister of Transportation Muazu Zambo said the value of technology in maritime cannot be overemphasized, noting that shipping is the most effective way of moving goods all over the world. Zambo said advanced technology must be holistically adopted to make the maritime business viable. He stressed the need for governments and regulators to sustain the improvement and investment in technology, adding that technology is crucial to reducing port congestion and competing favorably among maritime nations. And on the foreign scene, 27 people were killed in a bus crash in southwest China, police said, in the country's deadliest road accident so far this year. The crash took place on a highway in rural Guizhou province when the vehicle carrying 47 people in total flipped onto its side. Sando County Police said in a statement published. The remaining 20 people were being treated for injuries and emergency responders were dispatched to the scene, police said, without providing any more details. The accident happened in Quainan Prefecture, a remote and mountainous part of Guizhou, home of several ethnic minorities. Its provincial capital, Ginyang, home to 6 million residents, was locked down earlier in September. And on sports news, head coach Jose Santos Pesero has opted for the captain Ahmed Musa, deputy captain William Ekong, and 23 other players to take on former African champions Algeria in an international friendly match in the Algerian town of Oran on Tuesday, September 27. Three-time African champions Nigeria and two-time African champions Algeria would clash at the 40,000 Stade Olympique in Oran on that day, with the invited players expected to meet in Constantine today. Goalkeepers invited are Francis Uzoho, Maduka Okoye, and Adeleye Adebayo. Defenders are William Ekong, Kenneth Omerua, Chidozie Awaziem, Olaoluwa Aina, Calvin Bassi, Saidu Sanusi, Kevin Akpoguma, and Leon Balogu. Midfielders are Wilfred Ndidi, Frank Onyeka, Alex Iwobi, and Richard Onyedika. Forwards include Ahmed Musa, Kelechi Ihanacho, Moses Simon, Samuel Chukwueze, Ademola Lukman, Henry Onyekuru, Taiwo Awonoye, Chidera Ejuke, Cyril Desas, and Terem Murphy. And with that sports news, we conclude the news. But remember, you can follow news on ABS from any part of the world by liking our Facebook page at ABS Radio Television. Subscribe to our YouTube page at ABS Television Oka. Follow us on Instagram at ABS Radio TV. You can log on to our website at www.absradiotv.com. And the main news again. Anambra State Government is seeking stronger collaboration with Manufacturers Association of Nigeria. Anambra State Government has banned wearing of mini-length uniforms in schools. Nigerian Army has warned personnel to stay away from politics. And on the foreign scene, 27 people have been killed in road accidents in China. The special message again. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let's give him maximum support for the task ahead. And that's the news. We thank you so much for watching. My name is Nonya Nwokoye. Good morning and have a great day.